Health ageing expert Mark McKeon says that many Aussie men over the age of 50 live in a state of irritability because they don't have enough to look forward to.
So how do you avoid becoming a GOM? Mark McKeon joins us from the Gold Coast. Morning to you.
Good morning.
Now, so, Mark, you say that there are a couple of factors. Number one, the sort of lifestyle ego factors, and number two, the hormonal factors.
Exactly. Well, from the age of about our mid-20s, we drop about 1% of testosterone per year. That's for guys.
Right.
So by the time you get to about 50, you're 25% down, and that only doesn't mean that the guns aren't what they used to be. It also means that your mood can be a bit lower as well.
Really? So it's not necessarily their fault. And it can really impact not only on their lives, but on the lives of people around them.
Absolutely. It certainly has a huge impact. And the other issue is really the ego factor, that your kids might be a bit more grown up, the best part of your career might be behind you. You might feel like there's not quite as much to look forward to, and before you know it, you're in a default state of grumpiness.
Yes.
I call it the moodometer, about 5 out of 10 or lower.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because in our society, you know, the elderly aren't afforded the kind of recognition and respect that they are in many societies.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people start to feel a bit invisible. And when men of a certain age, particularly, have been sort of the centre of their own world for so long, being invisible is tough.
It is, and I think that whole identity, self-esteem thing is a really important issue. But there are some things that we can all do as we get a bit older to counteract that.
Yeah.
So you've got the obvious things like exercise, but especially weight training, resistance training. You don't have to go to a gym, but those thick rubber bands, resistant bands, can make a huge difference to boosting your testosterone levels. But also one of the things that's come out quite recently, it's what I call go zones, and that's having periods of about an hour where you're really concentrating on something. So it could just be a puzzle, or it could be some woodwork. Even when you get engrossed in a movie and after the movie's finished, you feel good, and part of that feeling is because you've had that little boost in testosterone levels, and which elevates your mood.
Can men actually get testosterone replacement therapy?
They can. We can take supplements. It's a simple pill that you can buy from a health food store, but of course you want to check with your doctor because it doesn't always work really well with other things you might be taking. But going to your doctor, getting a blood test, getting a measure of what your levels are, it can be a very legitimate treatment.
Yep, and doing things that you enjoy, things to look forward to.
Absolutely.
Yeah, keep you happy. Mark, how thoroughly fascinating. Thank you so much for being with us.
My pleasure.
You knew that there was an excuse, a reason.
I read in Mark's notes, he said plan a holiday once a year, plan to do something new once a month, plan to catch up with friends once a week.
Yeah.
You know,
How
and
good is
that keeps you pretty engaged.
Yep.
Yeah.
Such good guidelines.